Yo, what's good? It's Blues Nation 91 and today we're stepping inside Crazy's garage. Now if you know Crazy, you already know this isn't regular. This man builds different. We're walking through everything from clean street builds to straight up monsters. But trust me, you need to stay till the end because that last car, yeah, it's different. If you're rocking with the garage tours, make sure you hit that like and follow so you don't miss the next one. We're dropping more builds, more walkthroughs and bigger garages soon. And if you want your garage featured next, drop a comment below and let's set it up. Let's get into it. Alright, first car in Crazy Hot Rod's garage tour. This is the Obey 10F wide body, and the paint is nasty. It's that pearlescent deep blue with a purple flip when the light hits it, so it changes tone as you move around it. Then you've got the carbon hood and carbon aero giving it that track-ready look without overdoing it. The wheel setup matches perfectly too. Those darker rims, with the tint pull the whole build together. And when you swing around the back, you can see it's not just for looks. The rear setup is built like it's ready to run. Clean build, clean spec. Alright, let's slow it down and really look at this one. First thing that stands out is the paint. It's not just one color. As the light hits it, you get this deep red base that shifts with hints of blue and purple across the panels. It changes depending on where you're standing, and that alone gives it a lot of presence sitting still. Moving along the side, the body lines are tight and aggressive without being overdone. The carbon roof and rear section tie everything together and give it that clean, performance-focused look. The wheels sit perfectly in the arches, and the darker finish keeps all the attention on the body instead of stealing it. From the rear it stays subtle but mean. Dark taillights, clean diffuser, and the exhaust tips tucked in just right. Nothing flashy, just purposeful. Even parked, it looks like it's ready to move. Overall, this is one of those builds that doesn't need noise or crazy extras. It's clean, balanced, and the paint does most of the talking. Exactly the kind of garage build you stop and take your time with. Walking over to the Invitero Coquette D5, this one has a completely different presence compared to the rest of the lineup. The paint is a deep, dark finish that almost reads black at first. But once the garage lights hit it, those subtle red tones start coming through. The body sits low and wide, giving it a planted look without being over the top. The lighter wheels stand out against the darker paint, and the red brake calipers add a clean contrast that ties the whole setup together. From the rear, the Coquette D5 keeps things aggressive but simple. Sharp lines, a solid diffuser, and a clean overall shape that looks just as good parked as it does from any angle in the garage. Alright, next up we've got the Benefactor Vorschlaghammer, and this thing immediately stands out in the lineup. That clean gray base with the diagonal stripe livery gives it a straight motorsport vibe. Nothing flashy, just aggressive and purposeful. Front end is all business, big splitter, squared off grille, and those hood-mounted turbos sitting right out in the open letting, you know, this isn't a stock build. Wide stance, deep dish wheels, and thick tires tucked perfectly under the arches. It looks planted even sitting still. Walking around the side, the boxy body lines mixed with the modern aero touches give it that old school, power meets new school attitude. Out back it stays clean and simple, no overdone extras, just a solid rear profile that fits the whole build. This is one of those cars that doesn't need to scream. It just looks ready to move. Alright, next up in the garage is the Vapid Retinue MK2, and this thing is built with purpose. You can tell right away this isn't just a stock classic. This is a full Restomod setup. The dark finish with that subtle blue-purple flip gives it a clean but aggressive look, especially under the garage lighting. Up front, you've got the exposed turbo setup pushing through the hood, letting everyone know this car's about performance first. The wide stance, deep dish wheels, and chunky tires give it that planted rally-inspired feel, while the stripped-down interior and roll cage keep it race-ready. From every angle, the Retinue MK2 balances old-school muscle with modern performance touches. It's the kind of build that looks just as good parked in the garage as it does ripping through the streets. Alright, next up in the garage we've got the Annis Euros, and this build is all about presence. The first thing that hits is that deep olive green with the gold. Fade, super subtle in the shade, but it absolutely pops when the light catches it. The wide body setup is clean and aggressive without being overdone. and the carbon bits tie everything together from the splitter to the skirts. The stance is dialed in perfectly, sitting low on black wheels with big brakes tucked behind them, and that rear wing finishes the look with a straight-up track vibe. From every angle, this Euros looks planted, purposeful, and built to be noticed without screaming for attention. This is one of those cars you don't rush past. You slow down and take it all in. Next up in the garage is the Karen S95, and this build leans hard into that modern track day look. The blue base with the green accent gives it just enough pop without being overdone, and it really stands out under the garage lighting. The aero setup is aggressive but balanced. Big rear wing, vented hood, front splitter, and side skirts all working together instead of fighting each other. The Fukaru livery, details and tire branding tie the whole thing together and give it that legit motorsport feel. Fitment is dialed in tight, wide tires, low stance, and nothing feels out of place. This S95 looks like it's meant to be driven hard, not just parked, clean, functional, and built with purpose. All right, next up in the garage, we've got the Annis Remus, and this thing is built exactly how a proper track-inspired street car should be. The first thing that hits you is the aggressive aero. Wide stance, low splitter, and a wing that actually means business, not just for looks. The livery and sponsor layout give it that full race team vibe, and the fitment is dialed in perfectly with the atomic wheels tucked just right. Under the lights, the paint pops clean without being flashy, and every angle on this car looks intentional. This Remus isn't about showing off, it's about grip, control, and being ready when it's time to move. Wrapping up the walk through Crazy Hot Rod's garage, and it makes sense to end on this one. The Karen Sultan RS Classic sitting here really sums up the whole space. Clean, aggressive, and built with intention. That deep blue with the subtle purple flip catches the light perfectly, and the aero stays sharp without being overdone. Big wing, tight stance, and a look that feels ready to move even when it's parked. This is the kind of car you finish on, because it leaves an impression, and honestly, it fits this garage perfectly.